Quick review for the U.S. Constitution test. The Bill of Rights, your first 10 amendments, something we should know. Again, the supreme law of the land is your U.S. Constitution. That is this test. 6 purposes of our government are laid out in the preamble, and those 6 purposes are listed below: form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Getting to the legislative branch. 25 years old, a resident of the district and citizen for 7 years to be a member of the U.S. House of Representatives. In order to be a senator, 30 years old, a resident of the state, and a citizen for 9 years. There are 435 members in the House. Based on population, 100 members in the Senate, and they are all equal, 2 per state. If there is a vacancy in the Senate, it becomes filled due to the governor of that state filling the position. What size of vote is needed to expel, to get rid of someone from the House or the Senate, is a 2/3 vote. The main function, again, of the legislative branch is to make laws. A House of Representatives, they serve for 2 years. Every 2 years they're looking for re-election. Senators serve for 6 years. The title given to the individual that's leading or the presiding officer of the House is the Speaker of the House. A writ of habeas corpus is the right to be heard in front of the court. An ex post facto law, not allowing people to be charged with an act committed before a law is put into place. So you can't be charged for something and arrested when that law was not put into place until after you committed that action. What is the elastic clause? That is Article 1, Section 8, grants the power for Congress to pass all laws necessary and proper, also known as the necessary and proper clause, to carry out all those enumerated powers. Interstate Commerce Clause gives power to regulate the power to Congress to regulate commerce in all states. All revenue bills must be generated in the House because it's based on population. And the presiding officer of the Senate is the President of the Senate. This person is also the Vice President of the United States. Executive branch, head, president, they enforce the laws. You have to be 35 years old, a natural-born citizen, and live in the United States for at least 14 years. You serve a term of 4 years. Again, the president can serve no more than 2 terms or 10 years. You are elected by the Electoral College. If there is a tie, the House of Representatives will vote to determine who is the president, and the president will take oath on January 20th and is sworn in usually by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. In an impeachment process, the House can bring up the impeachment charges, and the Senate presides and acts as the jury. If a president cannot perform his or her duties, the line of succession is the Vice President, the Speaker of the House, and the President pro tempore. The President pro tempore is the leader of the Senate when the President of the Senate or the Vice President is not there. The express powers of the President to pardon or to reprieve individuals, make treaties with other countries, and veto legislation. The Senate will approve of all presidential appointments. Congress must have a 2/3 to override a veto, and the president has 10 days to sign or veto a law. Going to the judicial branch now. Congress has the power to further develop the judiciary branch, create more courts. The president appoints individuals on the Supreme Court, and they serve a life term. Judicial review, again, deciding whether or not laws or executive acts are constitutional. Getting to some of the important amendments. Again, what is the most common method for proposing an amendment? 2/3 of each House of Congress proposes and then is ratified by 3/4 of the state legislatures. Your freedoms in the First Amendment: speech, press, religion, assembly, the right to petition. The Establishment Clause states it prohibits the government from actually having an official state religion. Fourth Amendment protects against unreasonable searches and seizures. If you say, "I'm pleading the Fifth," you are refusing to testify, the right against self-incrimination. The Eighth Amendment prohibits cruel and unusual punishment. Your 10th reserves all powers not by the federal government reserved to the states. And your last one, your 14th Amendment, is your Equal Protection Clause, due process, and also gave citizenship to slaves. That's a quick overview of your U.S. Constitution.